literally changes it. When there was a famine going on in Israel, that changed their life. That took everything that they had known, their comfort level went way down. They didn't have the food they needed. They didn't have the water they needed. They didn't know how long they were going to survive. When that famine hit, their lives were immediately changed. In our lives, we have, all the time, stuff happens where it's just immediately changed. And you know, things have happened in my life that just immediately changed. The only way we're going to see God just do something, not just bring back the rain and bring it back to normal, but to do things above and beyond, to do things to just bless us beyond our wildest dreams, to just bless us in a way that He wants to bless us, because God hasn't called us to mediocrity. You know that. God hasn't called any of us to mediocrity. He's called every single one of His children to greatness. But the only way that we can see ourselves getting back to greatness when this famine hits us, because we all know that Satan steals, Satan kills, Satan destroys, and he does it, and he's good at it. Mm-hmm. He does it all the time. But the only way that we can get back to where we want to be, the only way that we can get back to where God wants us to be, the only way that we can get back to where we need to be is we need to kill those prophets of Baal in our life. Those little things that we turn to, maybe it's Facebook, social media, you know, the drugs, the alcohol, just little things that we decide, you know what, we're going to put in the place of God for right now. There's a girl that goes to my mom's church, and it's a freak accident that happened, and she completely changed her life. She was, they were pulling into her boyfriend's house, and her boyfriend's got a gate in the front, so he hopped out of the car and opened up the gate, and just to be dumb, while they were riding in, he hopped on the back of the car. Well, something happened. They hit a bump, and he fell off the car. She was only going 5 miles an hour. He fell off the car, hit his head, and died immediately. And it changed her life. But what she went to, rather than God, what she turned her life to was to Facebook. And for other people's opinion about her. We do that all the time. But when we turn to God, and not only do we turn to God, but we turn to God and we put so much faith in Him until it hurts. Then fire comes from heaven. Then our lives are forever changed. The only way to get back to where God wants us to be is to remove all that those false idols, the false doctrine, the false things that we turn to remove that. Because if God is up here, man, you guys are going to be great. Mm-hmm. If God is number one in your life, things are going to be incredible. When those prophets of Baal realized that they were wrong, Elijah didn't just let those prophets of Baal stick around in Israel. You know why? Because if he'd have let those people stick around in Israel, it would have been a couple months later before the children of Israel were back doing what they were doing. This miracle that would have happened in their life, that they saw, because not only did God bring a fire down, He brought the rain as well. And the rain was just pouring all over the place. He looked out ahead and said, look, here comes a thundercloud. And it just came and it just swept over the entire country. And it was amazing. The things, people were just rejoicing and going crazy. But Elijah wasn't done yet. Yeah, great things were happening in the land. But Elijah wasn't done yet. He said, don't let them prophets of Baal get out of here. I'm not done with them. And as his servants went and captured the prophets of Baal, brought them to him, they slew right then and there all 450 of them. Killed every single one of them. Let me tell you something. You cannot see the full, and you cannot live fully in the glory of God if you still have that stuff, that sin, that thing that's in your life. You can't live the full glory of God. You can't do it. It is impossible. You'll get there. You'll see a miracle, and you'll be like, wow, your life will be changed for about a month. Yay. And then you'll be right back to where you started. Yeah. You'll be right back to finding it, oh man, I have to go to church again, it's Wednesday. You know? Or you'll be right back to, oh man, I gotta read my Bible. Oh man. I gotta love Jesus. Oh my gosh. I mean, something additional. But think about that. You want to be back in the glory of God? God's called none of us to mediocrity. What has He called us to? Greatness. Are we going to say that together? God's called us to
Greatness.
Boy.
awesomeness, whatever. God's called us to greatness. God's called each and every one of His children to greatness. Does that get Jordy to come up here and to play a little bit on the piano for us?
Boy.
Hey guys, I want Stephen. I want you to kind of remain in that spirit.